Hello, my name is John Kabbalah, and I'm here to talk about Mesquite ISD's technology plan, a critique. Mesquite ISD's technology plan is taken from page 15 of the Technology Application Standards put out by the Texas Education Agency, or TEA. Some of the things here are all learners have access to relevant technologies, they use information and communication technologies, they use research-based strategies, and they communicate effectively. And we're going to look at each one of these in detail. All learners have access to relevant technologies, tools, resources, and services for individualized instructions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And yet, 86% of students report using more technology outside of school than in it. Most of these tools are only available during school hours and only used in some classrooms. So few students really truly receive individualized instruction. All learners use information and communication technologies to collaborate, construct knowledge, and provide solutions to real-world problems. This is poorly executed within the district. The curriculum, particularly for math and science, is laid out in such a way that it does not allow time to delve into real-world problems. The mantra is to teach what is in the scope and sequence, and don't divert from that. This really strongly puts a stranglehold on being able to implement new technologies and try out new ideas in the classroom. All learners use research-based strategies in all subject areas to improve academic achievement. Well, research-based strategies are used by students, but students are not very good at it. And many teachers don't even allow sites like Wikipedia as a trusted source, even though Wikipedia is one of the best sources out there for information. You have world-class contributors now to Wikipedia. And then again, students are not taught how to find reliable sources. So if teachers don't want them to use Wikipedia, they're not giving them reliable sources to use in place of Wikipedia. All learners communicate effectively in a variety of formats for diverse audiences. Well, students mainly use PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, and that's it. They're not given a choice to use video or an iPod so that they can make a recording. Once they create that great work of art, it's not published. So it's only available in the four walls of the classroom when it should be available to everybody in the world. Publish it, for goodness sakes. All educators graduate from an educator prep program. The educator prep programs, knowing how to use technology, they're supposed to develop new learning environments, and they're to ensure integration of appropriate technology. Let's see how we can break that. They do graduate from an educator prep program that models current technology. This happens very regularly, and it's a good thing. They do exit prep programs knowing how to use technology effectively in the teaching and learning process. But is that really enough? Knowing how to use technology and actually using technology in the teaching and learning process are two very different things. We need to make sure that teachers are using technology in their classrooms, not just knowing how to use technology. All educators are supposed to develop new learning environments that utilize technology as a flexible tool where learning is collaborative, interactive, and customized. Well, the traditional classroom is still the most widely used learning environment. May have added an interactive whiteboard to their classrooms, maybe a projector, a few computers, but it's still a classroom. We're stuck in the classroom scenario where we've seen libraries open things up so that students can learn in an environment that's comfortable to them, maybe in a garden, maybe in a secluded area, or maybe in a large group setting. We need to make this more about the students' comfort and less about what the teacher's comfort and the administrator's comfort level is with this. And here we have all leaders develop, implement, budget for, and monitor dynamic technology plan, create an innovative, flexible, responsible environments, offer expanded curricular and instructional opportunities, provide opportunities for sustained, relevant, and timely staff development, expect and plan appropriate technology use, and use data effectively. Let's see how Mesquite does. Well, this is Mesquite ISD's technology plan, and therefore this goal has not been met. I did contact Daryl Rideout. I did contact other technology leaders within our district, and they failed to get back to me, and this is what I found to be the most relevant piece of plan that I could find for Mesquite ISD. So in that respect, develop, implement, budget for, and monitor a dynamic technology plan, well, that goal has not been met. Create innovative, flexible, and responsive environments to maximize teaching and learning. Well, it happens. It does happen, but it's not the norm. We need to make sure that most of the teachers are doing this, not a minority. And it's a small minority, unfortunately, of the teachers that are doing this. Offer expanded curricular and instructional opportunities to students via online digital technology and a variety of distant learning technologies. Well, the tools exist to create these opportunities. We do have Moodle. We have other tools, but they're not used. Moodle is more like an online repository just of files. It's not really a way for students to take learning into their own hands and to give them more depth. So I really think that Mesquite ISD fails here. Provide opportunities for sustained, relevant, and timely staff development in a variety of formats. Mesquite ISD does offer Pay for Knowledge classes. They're available after school at a separate building, a professional development center. Sometimes it can be hard to get there when the classes are going on. Some schools offer training on site. There are no online classes. None of this stuff you can take and get credit for online. So unless you're able to make it over there after school, if you're not tutoring or if you're not picking up your own kids or taking care of other things that you have to do during the day, it works out perfect. But unfortunately, most professionals have other obligations that we have to take care of after the teaching day is over. All leaders expect and plan appropriate technology use throughout the teaching and learning process, as well as throughout administration. Well, again, I think Mesquite ISD fails here. Self-development is primarily sit and get. You do have an application piece, but usually that's so easy to do, it only takes a few minutes. And most of the time, it's not even relevant. You can't use it in your own classroom. So that's tough. And then administration isn't trained, or they choose not to use the technology because most of our administrators have been out of the classroom for a while, and therefore they've been out of getting this technology training that they so sorely need. All leaders use data effectively and appropriately in decision making. Now, I have to say that Mesquite ISD uses a really great student information system in Chancery. It really allows anybody who needs the information to access it easily, and it is in our district used in a timely manner to get students where they're supposed to be, and to make sure that the grades are online, and to make sure that all of the all of the grades are online for parents to see in a timely manner. It's a really great thing. Now, the infrastructure system provides access to all e-learning technologies, just-in-time technical assistance, and measures to ensure all data is secure and accurate, data standards to support interoperability, and accessibility for all users. We do have access to all e-learning technologies through ubiquitous broadband resources. So it says it's supposed to be available 24/7 for all users, but it's really only available during school hours for students. And even if students were going to go next to their school with a laptop, the wireless access shuts down at about 7:30 until the next morning. And I know they do that for security reasons, but it's not 24/7. It is available to staff, but only if they have their own equipment at home. You can access the online, setting up your Moodle courses. You can access Chancery. You can access all of the tools that you need to do your lesson plans, but you also have to have your own equipment at home to do that. So, and it's available to parents only if they have their own equipment at home and only if they have their internet access at home also. An infrastructure system provides just-in-time technical assistance to support teaching and learning. Well, the MISD help desk is efficient at handling tech support calls when needed. However, sometimes it can take a few hours for issues like wireless. When the wireless goes down, sometimes we just have to sit patiently and wait for that to come back up. Sometimes that can be pretty difficult when you have a class full of students and your lesson plan is totally dependent on them being able to access the internet. So that can be pretty tough, but that doesn't happen very often. And as a matter of fact, that's only happened twice this year. So they get a round of applause from me. Hardware problems usually require a tech to come on site, and that can take a few days, but usually that's just like 1 or 2 computers, and they'll come on site, they'll take the computers, get them fixed for us, and they'll have them back in a few days. And software problems are usually resolved remotely, so that's really nice. You can talk to them on the phone, and they'll be able to remote in and take care of your problems. An infrastructure system provides measures to ensure all data is secure and accurate. Well, access is granted only to those people who need it. And in the case of Chancery, for example, I teach at a DAEP, a Disciplinary Alternative Educational Placement School. And since I'm not the teacher of record, I don't actually get access to the students' records that I have in my classroom. And that's the security hindrance that I was talking about in the next thing. And so we actually have had to come up with, instead of Chancery, we use Jupyter Grades. And then we send that information back to the home campus and they have to re-enter it. So it's not, the data is definitely secure, but there's some issues to work out so that everybody who needs access really should have full access to that information. Data standards to support interoperability and accessibility for all users. Well, everything's web-based, so this works out perfect. I mean, even if you have a cell phone or smartphone, you can still access any information that you need to. I have a few suggestions for improvement. Number one, we need to embrace mobile devices. As you can see in the chart here, mobile devices are being used at a faster and faster rate. They've overtaken desktop PCs, and they've even overtaken notebook PCs. So these devices, kids can use them. They can get any information that they need to. They can communicate quickly with friends and the whole world. They can do research. They can do anything on their mobile device, and that's what they prefer. We need to allow those in every classroom. And if the students don't own them, then the school should provide them. It should be like a library. They should be able to check these devices out and take them home, especially if we expect them to use in class. A teacher can't assign homework to everybody and not expect them to not have this access at home. They've got to be able to have this access so that we can do the teaching that we need to be able to do. These students need to have this access. and it needs to be as easy as a book. Now let's talk about suggestions on access. 28.9% of Americans don't have internet access. And this is why I'm saying devices that are checked out from the library should come with that access, because a device that doesn't have internet access is usually that's just going to be a digital recorder then, or it's going to be a camera or a video camera. And those devices are all very useful, but the power comes when we connect that device to the internet and we can share and we can publish. That's where the power comes from. Professional development. Only half of our current working teachers believe they can use technology to motivate students to learn, compared to 75% of incoming teachers. Only 17% of current teachers believe technology can help students deeply explore their own ideas, compared to 59% of incoming teachers. And 26% of current teachers believe students can use technology to apply knowledge to problem solving, compared to 64% of aspiring teachers. Aspiring teachers have this right. We have young teachers have come from a community where they share information, they collaborate. That's the norm. That's what they're used to. They use the technology to reach out to people. And teachers that have been in the business for a while, they may be a little bit more scared to use the technology. They may be a little bit more leery, not comfortable. But somehow we need to make sure, we need to bridge that gap so that these teachers today are teaching our students how to use technology, the same technology that these students are going to be expected to bring into the workforce and to make a difference in the world. Because if they're not trained in how to use it now, they won't be able to use it in the workforce. We also, in my opinion, we need to require teachers to use the student's choice of tools in the classroom. Not many students are going to choose to use a pencil and paper. Let's give them the choice of what they want to use, and let's make that easier for them. Let's make SBEC's technology application standards part of a teacher's expectations and integrate it into the PBIS evaluations. Administrators, come on administrators, you can demonstrate the same proficiencies and expect your staff to implement them in their daily classroom activities. You're the leader. We're looking to you to be able to do this. And let's grow a community of help. We can use the technology department. We can use expert teachers, community experts, expert students, and even the public at large. We have such a fantastic opportunity here to use the entire internet to connect people together and to be able to teach these students as a village. It's an awesome opportunity, and we are not making appropriate use of it.